This story is about a girl named Madeline Cross, and I'm here to tell you what happened to me. I'm 27 years old, and what I went through nearly destroyed me, but it also taught me the most painful truth about family and love. I thought my life was safe, my relationships uncheckable, but one night everything shattered. It started with a whisper, a hidden phone call, and a look in someone's eyes that I will never forget. By the end, I would learn that those closest to me were my greatest enemies, and I had to fight back in a way I never imagined. Before we begin, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, so more people can hear stories like mine. This story is written and edited by Dark Lifeside Diaries. I still remember the night the cracks began to show, the smell of burnt coffee in the kitchen, the faint hum of the refrigerator, and the way my sister, Emily, wouldn't look me in the eyes. I brushed it off, convincing myself it was nothing, but deep down my instincts were screaming. Emily and I had always been close, or so I believed. We were the kind of sisters who stayed up late talking about our dreams, crying over breakups, and celebrating each other's wins. But lately she'd been distant, avoiding me, hiding her phone when I walked into the room. And then there was Daniel, my fiancé. His behavior had changed too. He had a new habit of working late, coming home with that strange mix of guilt and defensiveness in his voice. One rainy Thursday night, I walked past the living room and caught a glimpse of them, together on the couch, not close enough to look. Suspicious at first glance, but the way Emily laughed at something he whispered. It wasn't how a sister laughs at her sister's fiancé. My stomach tightened. I told myself I was imagining things, but the seed of doubt had been planted, and it was already growing roots. Over the next week, I started noticing the little things. Emily wearing lip gloss she never liked before. Daniel suddenly buying a new cologne, both of them glancing at each other when they thought I wasn't looking. One evening, I decided to test something. I left my phone recording on the kitchen counter while I ran to the store. When I came back, they were gone, and when I checked the recording, my heart stopped. Their voices, low, secretive, and Daniel saying she'd never see it coming. I sat in my bedroom, my hands trembling, listening to it over and over again until my tears ran dry. I wasn't just dealing with the betrayal, I was staring at the destruction of my trust, my family, and the life I thought I had. And that night, as I lay awake, one thought kept echoing in my head. If they think I won't see it coming, they don't know who they're dealing with. The morning after I heard that recording, I didn't confront them, not yet. Instead, I smiled, poured coffee, and acted as if nothing had changed, even though every word they spoke felt like a blade against my skin. I needed proof. Not just whispers, not just a gut feeling, but undeniable evidence that would rip away every lie they had built. I began watching them closely, memorizing their routines, picking up on every little signal between them. Emily started borrowing my clothes more often, even lingerie I'd never worn in front of anyone but Daniel. Daniel, meanwhile, became more affectionate in public, almost performative, a show for the world while the truth hid in the shadows. I installed a hidden camera in the living room under the guise of home security and placed another in the guest bedroom. It didn't take long before my stomach churned with disgust as I watched Emily linger too long on the couch with him after I'd gone to bed, their hands brushing in a way that spoke volumes. The worst came on a Saturday night when I claimed I had to stay late at work. I parked my car 2 streets away, walked home in the pouring rain, and through the living room window, I saw them, Daniel's hand on Emily's waist, her fingers sliding up his shirt, the two of them oblivious to the storm outside. I couldn't breathe. The world seemed to tell every memory of the three of us together, playing like a cruel joke in my mind. That night, I didn't scream or cry. Instead, I sat in the dark of my bedroom, dripping wet, replaying the scene over and over while a plan began to take shape. They thought they were clever, that I was blind. But I wasn't going to simply walk away. I was going to make them both wish they had never underestimated me, and I was going to do it in a way that neither of them would ever recover from. For the next 2 weeks, I became a shadow in my own home, quietly gathering ammunition. Every sly glance, every inappropriate touch, every stolen moment, I documented it all. The hidden cameras gave me enough to ruin them both, but I wanted more than just exposure. I wanted devastation. I started recording our conversations, casually stirring topics toward loyalty, trust, and betrayal, watching their faces for flickers of guilt. At work, I quietly reached out to a friend in cybersecurity who owed me a favor. With his help, I gained access to Daniel's phone backups, and what I found there made my blood run cold. Dozens of messages between him and Emily, filled with things they'd done in my home, plans for weekends I thought he'd spent working, even cruel jokes about How naive I was. The final straw was a video saved under a harmless file name of the two of them in our bedroom. My bedroom. That night, I sat at my desk until dawn creating a perfectly edited compilation of their lies, a reel of betrayal so damning it would destroy every shred of credibility they had. But that wasn't all. I also uncovered something Daniel had kept. Hidden from me for years, a separate bank account, where he'd been funneling money from our joint account tens of thousands of dollars. He had been planning his exit and Emily was part of it. My hands shook, but not from fear anymore, from the thrill of knowing I now held all the power. I printed out every text, every photo, every bank statement, neatly filed them, and tucked the USB with the video into my purse. The time for quiet suffering was over. The trap was set, and I was about to spring it in a way that would leave no room for escape. The day of reckoning came on. Emily's birthday, the perfect stage for the grand finale. I arranged a surprise dinner at a trendy rooftop restaurant, inviting friends, family, and a few colleagues of Daniel's who I knew could ruin his career with a single whisper. Everyone gathered around, laughter and clinking glasses filling the air as I stood to give a toast. I thanked Daniel for being such a supportive husband and Emily for being like family, watching their smug smiles grow. Then, with a calmness that made my own heart race, I connected my laptop to the restaurant's massive projector. I put together a little slideshow, I said sweetly. The first image was of us happy, smiling. The next was Daniel and Emily, tangled together on my bed. Gasps, murmurs, the clatter of silverware against plates. I let the video roll, each scene more damning than the last, intercut with screenshots of their texts and proof of Daniel's hidden bank account. Emily's face turned ghost white. Daniel stammered something about misunderstandings, but the room was already buzzing with disgust. His boss stood and left without a word. Emily's boyfriend, yes, the one she had conveniently forgotten to mention, stormed out after throwing his drink in her face. I closed the laptop, thanked everyone for coming, and walked away, leaving them to deal with the wreckage. By the next morning, Daniel was locked out of our house, his clothes and garbage bags on the curb. His company had parted ways with him. Emily had been evicted from her apartment, and my lawyer, armed with my meticulously compiled evidence, had ensured I would walk away from the marriage with the house, the savings, and every ounce of dignity. For the first time in months, I slept peacefully knowing I hadn't just survived, I had won. And in that quiet victory, I realized something: betrayal may break you, but revenge, if done right, can put you back together stronger than ever.